I need everyone on this case.
Shit, they put that song on a trap. they literally put trap music in
a movie about traps.
In a music about traps. Genius.
You right?
Hey everyone, support our Patreon, which helps us to continue bringing you our live streams, videos, and podcasts while bringing you new content such as exclusive live streams and animated shorts. Let's play a game, Martin. You know what?
Time for games is over.
Man, if I had thought about it and we went to old studio, I actually would have introduced this video riding on a little tricycle. Hey, y'all, what's up?
Nah, man, he don't do that no more.
Nah, man, he's retired.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's that old shit.
Yep. Yeah, that bicycle's it's in an exhibit now.
At the Smithsonian.
Yeah. All right, people, let's go ahead and get into it. That little tricycle's up in the rafters now. Yeah, that little saw puppet, he's like, I'm done, man. Let somebody else take over with this whole franchise. It needs some new blood anyway.
Sure.
And at one time, Saw and the character Jigsaw, he was all about helping people, man. You know, he's all about getting people to improve themselves.
By cutting their own legs off.
Well, Martin, it was the most fucked up pep talk you could ever have. Sometimes people don't listen. Sometimes you just got to cut a motherfucker for them to get the point. You know, I bet if I cut your foot off. But if you lived, you probably made some life changes for the better.
I guess.
Every time you looked down at that stump of that nub, you thought like, shit, I better get I need Jesus. I better quit smoking. I better put this drink down. I better go back to college. I better get my GED. Yeah, a lot of people improved their lives because of old Jigsaw out there. But now Jigsaw, he's so proud of his work. At one time he was changing lives, and now old Jigsaw wants to change the world. And he said, you know, I never wanted to do this, but now, hey, look, y'all, I don't want to get social. I don't want to get political.
But that is the thing these days.
But that's the thing these days. Some people say, hey, look, I don't want to wake up. You know?
Hey, you know, the new Jigsaw, he's not above getting with the trends.
No.
What are the kids into these days?
Yeah. Shit, maybe I can trend and get a hashtag and all that shit. So now he's into changing the world, not just people. And he says, you know what better place to start? Oh my God. Oh, we don't want to hear you yet, Chris. You wait a minute. He said, oh my God, what better place to start than with police reform? It's a goddamn shame when a white sociopathic murderer serial killer has to say, you know what? Police need to stop murdering people. With a white serial killer who makes traps and rips people apart has to say, you know, police out of control. You know, that's when you know things are up.
Oh, yeah.
And then, you know, and I guess it helps that you also have a black producer in there, which is Chris Rock. He came up with the idea behind this. Sat down with somebody. Ain't that something where, man, they got dudes out there probably writing some of the best scripts in the world and can't even get a sit down.
No.
Can't get a sit down with an intern.
Yeah.
But Chris Rock, he's at a wedding. He looks over and like, he's at a wedding in South America. He's in Brazil. Looks over and is like, oh shit, you work at Lionsgate, right? Hey man, I got an idea for a Saw movie. Oh, well, look, come meet me on Monday in Hollywood and let's go ahead and get it made. There's probably about 10 amazing Saw scripts out there. People like, no, don't bring that shit over here.
Yeah, but Chris Rock's name can get it made.
He can get it made. You know, that's what happens when you're a multi-million-dollar celebrity. You can just walk in and say, hey man, give me $100 million. I want to make some shit.
Right. Chris, this is great. With you attached, they already gave us the money, and I got some ideas for casting the lead. Yeah, so do I. Me.
Yeah.
I guess that'll work.
Yeah. Chris Rock came in. I got some ideas for the next Saw. We don't want to hear it. Here's your money.
Yeah.
We got some ideas too. Yeah, man. So, people, you know, is Chris Rock the fresh new blood, pun intended, right here, that Saw needs in order to get this franchise up and going? And can Jigsaw actually come in and change the way cops are out there doing their things. You know, you put a cop or two in a trap, you know, rip them apart. And cops will get the message. They'll be cool.
Yeah, and it'll spread across the country.
Yeah, yeah, man. This is Jigsaw's protest right here. Let's go ahead and take a look at this trailer for not Saw, not Jigsaw. This time we are Spiral. Spiral from the book of Jigsaw.
I need everyone on this case.
Shit, they put that song on a trap. they literally put trap music in
a movie about traps.
In a music about traps. Genius.
Right? It works on so many levels.
Hello, Detective Banks.
Let's go ahead and get into this, and I'm just going to let you know that with this particular movie right here, yeah, they're trying some different things. Sure, it's political. Sure, it's social. It's even a little blacker this time. Hence the 21 Savage song that they got in here. But I tell you, they don't waste any time at the beginning giving fans, the Saw fans, what they want, what they like. You know, this starts out with a cop following someone into a dark tunnel. You never follow anybody alone in a Saw movie, whether it's light or dark. You won't ever follow nobody by yourself behind a corner.
You don't do that in any situation.
You don't do that in any situation, but shit, you don't do that in a Disney movie.
Right.
But you damn sure don't do that in a Saw movie, because you know when you do, that pig head got your ass. It's always a pig waiting in the dark for your ass. Porky. Yeah, you know, there's a goddamn cop, too. You know good and goddamn well you call some backup. That's how you know that motherfucker's crooked.
Yeah.
Because he's about to do some crooked shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, it seemed like they would give you a bigger flashlight.
Yeah. Or you call for backup. Or the dude stole a purse. You don't fucking follow nobody in the dark
I know.
for a purse.
Down into the sewer for a purse.
That's when you go back and look at that woman and say, bitch, your shit is gone. You want to file a complaint?
Which is what real cops do.
Yeah. Yeah, cops don't even say file a complaint no more. They say, your shit is gone.
Yep, they say, like, we're probably not going to catch him.
Yeah.
You're not going to, you say probably not. Okay, we're not. But you're going to try. Not really.
Yeah, nah. So, man, you want our help? Go call your credit card companies and cancel all that shit and get a new purse and hold on to your shit next time. That's what it is.
Well, why'd you even show up?
Yeah.
We were in the area.
And when I say that they are actually giving the people what they want, the fans what they want in the beginning, I mean, it kicks off with the stupid ass going in by himself, Porky kidnapping people in the dark, and of course, they get right into the signature of the franchise, the traps. Don't waste no time getting into that. And I'm gonna tell you, regardless of what I feel about the movie later on, whether I love it or I hate it, they do make these traps a little more gruesome this time. What do you think, Marty? Did he make it? He gonna be all right. You know, he broke free just in time.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, if he just moves to the left real quick,
Yeah, right.
he'll be all right. Yeah, he's good. Somebody said that the pig head was in the first Saw movie.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. It's been so long since I've seen the first Saw
Same
movie.
here.
But yeah, man. Now, here's where we get some crazy shit. How somebody had time to build that trap and put somebody in it in the amount of time that, those trains were coming by.
Yeah, like running out there every time there wasn't a train, building it, then stepping back, hoping the train doesn't knock it out of the way, the next train.
How they had time to build a goddamn big-ass elaborate trap and put somebody in it, but between trains, I don't know.
Look, man, if you're going to start thinking about these things, it's all going to fall apart.
They work very quick and efficiently. Yeah. We'll just say that. That fool had a train schedule. He planned it out he planned it out very well. Like people plan their trips out.
Maybe it's a Sunday and the train only runs once every 2 hours.
Yeah, and they running less during COVID time. So I'm sure he had time to do it.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean when the cameras weren't watching him either. But hey,
He disabled the cameras.
Yeah, for a week. But sure.
He built it at home as a kit that he could bring in piece by piece and then just assemble all at once. And he knew exactly when that cop was going to be down there and
plus he knew how exactly.
To drug him and put him in position.
And he knew the train that everybody complained about, the slowest train in the city.
And he knew that cop would be there and see that particular robber at that moment.
You know, traps have always been there.
Sure.
But let's talk about one of the things that they hope will make Saw, the franchise, fresh, shiny, and new again. And that's your boy, Mr. Chris Rock right here. And more than what are the new traps, more than what is what's this movie going to be like? Can they bring Saw back? People want to know, how's Chris Rock? And I'll say this. You can tell because Chris Rock is not credited with being a full writer. He's producer, and I'm sure he came up with the story and everything, or the concept at least. But he definitely had at least, if not a hand in the writing process, he had a pinky in there or something. Because when this starts out, it is not a Saw movie. It is a Chris Rock comedy special.
Yeah, he's working out material for his next special.
This fool is not doing dialogue. He's doing stand-up. He starts out the movie. Forrest Gump. Jenny didn't want to fuck Forrest Gump until she got AIDS. And I was just like, man, just pull out the microphone. Marriage. Boy, marriage. Motherfuckers be getting married.
And the way the rest of the cops just kind of stand around nodding, you're like, is this like one of those Dolomite shows where he's in somebody's living room doing stand-up and performing?
Yeah. Boy, don't get married. You know, you can give a woman a million Tuesdays. It ain't worth three Sundays or 3 Saturdays. It's like, okay, man, what the fuck we doing here?
Yeah.
You know, if you want to do stand-up, do stand-up. He has jokes, and it's jokes that, look, we all joke about. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's like, it is straight up stand-up material. It's jokes about marriage, divorce.
That's what all his last couple stand-up specials have been about. I was like, man, he's still bitter and dragging it into the movie.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's like, I had a bunch of jokes left over from those specials, and God damn it, I'm using them.
It's like, nigga, if you don't stop this shit and get on this case right now, you want to be a serious actor, then stop fucking around and solve this case.
Well, it's really funny that he comes in with jokes and jokes and jokes, because that in no way plays into his character. It's like, I thought, okay, so he's Zeke, and Zeke is a guy who, to give you a little backstory, Zeke is not, and I'm not going to tell you too much, I'll let you find out for yourself, but Zeke is not very popular with his precinct. And it doesn't help that a lot of people feel like there's a little bit of nepotism going on too, because his father, Marcus, was the chief at one time. So everybody feels like Zeke, he can just go out and do whatever he wants to do because, his daddy was the chief. And also, because he feels like nobody's got his back, that gives him the liberty to just go out and do things on his own. Right.
Shit that you would have to sign several things for.
Yes, a big undercover sting that he told no one about.
Yeah, exactly. So this dude's supposed to be mad about the precinct. He's supposed to be upset about everybody thinking he's getting privileged just because of his father, and he's doing stand-up and shit. He's bringing so much comedy in the beginning and still trying to actually be straight about it. He's trying to still be dramatic, but he's cracking jokes. There's even an appearance by your old boy Pookie.
This crack shit, man, it's got me, man. I don't got no control over it, man. I try to kick, man. That shit just be calling me, man.
Be calling me like them jokes and be calling me. But I'm not even lying. Pookie makes an appearance. He even throws in New Jack City somewhere in the movie.
I know. I was like, boy, these dudes just cannot help themselves.
Oh.
It's like anytime Ice Cube shows up in something, he has to go like, well, I'd say it was a good day.
Today's a good day. Man, somebody had to ask. Somebody, did you see the movie? Did you ask? Somebody wants to know. I imagine somebody's asking, like, did he get put in a trap? He's like, Scotty, help me, I'm gonna die. Him being a police, and we're talking about the kind of movie that this is. Somebody had to ask, is there a certain scene in there? Because when he's not telling jokes, then we are being treated to pretty much a generic cop buddy action flick, at least in the beginning. And the reason why I say this is because it is so generic that they don't waste no time getting into the scene that we have seen a million times before. And that is the chief yelling at the road cop for not being a team player.
That's the thing. Like, to kick this movie off, we get past the trap. We get past the sting that sort of works out but doesn't. And then we get into that precinct, and they immediately go like, all right, to kick this off, to get it established, we're going to need just pull a couple of cliches off the shelf, and so we can put that in the stew and get it started. And when they reached up, all of them fell in there.
All of them fell.
The yelling police chief, the renegade cop who doesn't want a partner. Oh, they saddle him. And
hold on, because I'm getting get ahead of yourself.
but just everything they were throwing in there. And that scene is nothing but pure exposition.
They think that because this time the police chief got titties, that they doing something different.
Yes.
No. I mean, she fine as hell. I ain't gonna lie.
I was like, so the police chief is an Instagram model.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, you know what? At least she's fine as hell. It's okay. You did that different, but everything else. Oh, because it ain't an angry black dude or old white man.
See,
you think you're doing something different? Yeah. Oh no, she got ass titties now. It's different. No, it's the same shit.
12 years ago, I turn in a dirty cop. I get a medal for it.
Shut up!
He's like, I'm sick of it.
She's like, you telling me shit that I was here for. Why do you go over this every day you come into the office?
She's like, I've been listening to Everybody Hates Chris for the last fucking week. My family loves that show. I hate it. Shut up. Sick of hearing your voice. I got a bullet in my back. Everybody hate me. Shut the fuck up.
It's too fucking hot in here for me to listen to this bullshit. Zeke is gonna break you in, show you the ropes.
Yep.
Go.
Yep.
You stop on more like, damn, she fine. You see, he didn't want to leave the office. You see where he looked?
Yeah.
She had to tell her, get the fuck out of here.
Go.
Shit. Man,
Yeah.
and as you mentioned, and as you can see right here, they even threw in, and you're getting a partner. No, I work alone.
Yeah.
I liked, but you know, his partner, who is named Schneck, who's played by Max Minghella, who I like that actor, but it even gets to a moment where they're riding along and they have, Chris Rock is telling so many jokes, it turns into Training Day for a moment.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at some of the same, it's just a slightly skewed version of some of the dialogue when you had Denzel Washington and Ethan Hawke, you know, let me fuck your wife. And he's like, what? They kind of have something very similar to that right here. You know, it sounds like I'm hating on the film, and I'm not. It just starts out with some cliches. It starts out with Chris Rock, you know, wanting to be a more serious actor, but still, and it wouldn't be so bad if the jokes didn't feel like they were forced in. You know, it feels like Chris Rock is saying, even when I'm trying to be in serious mode, people are not gonna really like me unless I tell a joke or two, or 5, or 10, or 50. But the movie flip-flops for me for a while, man, because, you know, sometimes Chris Rock is good in the movie. Sometimes it feels like he's forcing his dialogue and he's not so good. The traps are sick, man. And I'm not saying even sick as, I'm saying sick as in, yes, cool, but also the traps are sick in that they are very gruesome, and they did put some thought into it because, as I said, man, you know, yes, you can live, but it's going to be very painful, that other choice that you have. Yeah. Some of these traps were so gruesome, I thought, you know what, fuck it. Dying is quicker and easier and probably less painful. Yeah. They gave some very hard choices, and I was flinching when I saw some of these traps in here. So I think they did a good idea on the traps. Thing is that, you know, that's another thing. They go back to the original concept of morality with them. You know, they really are picking people who have done things and saying, hey, you know what? Be a better person or fucking die. And that's cool because even Jigsaw Jigsaw started making so many traps later on in the movie that he got confused. He just started killing people. Yeah. Like he baked the chick in an oven and she didn't do shit to anybody.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, man, what, you know, at this point, this not even making any sense anymore.
I guess after a while, he just kind of realized, like, you know, I'm really not in this for the morality. I thought I was just fooling myself with that.
Yeah, you know, this shit got fun. Like, there ain't no bad people to sit up here and kill. Fuck it, I take what I can take. Yeah, they got back into like the traps seemed like they actually have a theme where later on it felt exploitive, man. I felt like they were just making traps so that they could just kill people and they didn't really care what the morality was. They just had ideas they had to put in place. They had sequels that they had to put out real quick. Let's not forget that Saw was owning Halloween every year.
Right.
And so they were putting these movies out quick. That's why you didn't get no A-list actors really in there.
Sure.
That's why they look kind of cheap after a while.
You don't count Donnie Wahlberg as a A-list actor?
You know what? I count him as, fucking no. Damn. Mark, you just put me in a soft trap. I'm sitting up here trying to say he's an A-list actor. Are you going to lose your hands? Fuck. I don't know. Shit. But those traps don't really elevate beyond. They might be cool, but they don't elevate beyond seen it, been there.
No.
They do this all the time. They might be a little more gruesome this time and whatnot, but there's nothing that really makes them that much different, and they definitely don't feel like they're progressed as far as the story goes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I felt like that wasn't really the goal so much. I could forgive it that. I mean, they are gruesome, and when you look at Spiral's motivation, yeah, they're effective.
Like I said, I didn't know what to think about this. It was like I'm personally, I was getting tired of the Saw movies. As fans were getting tired of the Saw movies, man. I didn't feel like that with this. I said there's a higher quality level here, and I respect that. But then your boy Sam L.J. enters the picture right here, and for me, it was like he came in. And it's almost like he floated in and just kind of elevated things just a little higher with him.
Jigsaw copycat. That could be difficult.
Look, maybe it's because I just love Samuel Jackson so much. Samuel Jackson could have rode in on a little ass tricycle with a red bow tie, little black Pee Wee Herman suit, and I think he would still be amazing. I think with this it proves one of the things that was missing from Saw and could have helped is that as the movies are being made cheaper, because I'm not really talking about the actors and the actresses who were there that bad. They weren't all that bad. They just weren't they weren't huge name actors, and you could tell that they were in movies that were being put out quick. But one of the things I can say that Samuel Jackson and Chris Rock is doing here is that it is bringing in a quality that seemed like these movies were missing for a while. Because I think that him and Chris Rock are great together, because I think he elevates Chris Rock. They have the most natural feeling moments together. Even though, I know you laughed at this, even though there's a flashback in here where it's obvious that
Tyler Perry supplied all the hair.
Man, it is clear that Samuel Jackson is wearing a fake mustache and Chris Rock has a goatee glued to his face, and him and Samuel Jackson are yelling at each other. It's just like two pieces of bad facial hair fighting with each other. Yeah. I was like, God damn.
To de-age Chris Rock will give him a goatee and a baseball cap.
And put it backwards.
Put it backwards, like a kid.
Yeah. And what he looked like? He looked like a 50-year-old motherfucker with a glued-on goatee and a backwards cap.
Yeah.
You brought all this fucking A-list quality up in here. You slapped these goddamn Tyler Perry hair on these people, right? Come on, man. Mm-hmm. You remember that shit?
Yes, I do.
I was like, are you fucking serious?
I know. I was like, we're doing this. Okay, all right, I guess.
And it's already crazy because Chris Rock is going to the movie with this fucking caterpillar sleeping on his chin the whole time. This goddamn asp on his chin.
Like, you can feel Samuel Jackson elevate this is because unlike just about everybody else in this movie, except for Max Mengele, Samuel Jackson can act, and everybody else, they're like those studio players who are just in stuff. And Chris Rock, God bless him, he's trying too hard throughout this movie.
Yes,
he got two acting styles. It's either he's doing his stand up or he's yelling.
Yep.
And most of the time, he's doing all his acting with his eyes and moving his mouth around like this. And there's a point where he confronts one of the older cops that used to be on the force, and that guy's talking to him, and it's nothing but every time they cut to Chris Rock, I don't know if you have it, but the guy's talking and just back and forth the reaction shots. Every time he's changing his expression. I was like, it's like he's losing his mind here.
There's a moment Chris Rock is trying so hard, and they left the camera on him a little too long because there's a moment that he's trying so hard, his eye starts twitching.
Yes,
it's almost like he's about to pop a blood vessel because he's trying to look so serious, and it's like, brother, to look serious means don't try.
That's what he hasn't been taught, because Samuel Jackson comes in and I was like, okay, I was thinking, okay, Max Minghella has been doing it up to this point, but Samuel Jackson really comes in and it's like, this guy's an actor. He knows how to deliver a line where he's relaxed and it feels natural. Even with the terrible dialogue they have in here, because they have him say motherfucker in every scene. He's like, it just can't be resisted. And he might have put it in there, but there's nobody going like, maybe not so much. But still, he knows how to deliver words as if he actually came up with them, as opposed to something he's trying to remember or trying to be intense with everything. Like, you can be intense by not being intense.
I'm going to tell you, man, for me, now, again, of course we speak for ourselves here, but for me, how does this movie play out? Well, here's the good thing. In my opinion, this is the best Saw movie that they've had in years. Bad thing, it's still a Saw movie. It still suffers from taking an already crazy premise that's out there and squeezing and shitting out as many sequels as you can. Now, this does seem a little more sincere than those other movies that they've done. But there's one thing that these movies have done that they just can't seem to get over. At least I can't get over. It's just not a concept that's working for me. When it was just the Jigsaw, the first Jigsaw, Tobin Bell, and Little Man on that tricycle, the movie was already out there. It was already kind of nuts, but it's a horror film. And plus, with Jigsaw, him doing what he's doing, you can look at this and say, all right, you know what? I don't need to ask questions. This is just, Jigsaw's like a genius supervillain. He's probably got a lot of money and way too much time on his hands, so he can sit around and make all these goddamn traps and buy all this real estate and these abandoned buildings and build this shit. Sure, I'm not going to say anything. But ever since Jigsaw died, and when they promised like the final chapter, which there's never no fucking final chapter in Hollywood. No. As long as they make him, when the final chapter is,
somebody goes to see it.
Yeah. I'll tell you when there's no final chapter, when they ain't making no money. That's when they close the book on that shit. And years later they're gonna reboot it anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
The fucking Hollywood is Jason Voorhees. That motherfucker's always coming back if there's some money to be made. But when he died, they started doing this whole concept of, because when he died, listen, it was already getting stupid when he was alive, but when he died, they started doing this concept of copycats. So every movie, because they had to keep it going, so every movie they had a new dude that was a copycat. I think they had maybe 2 movies where they were passing a torch to somebody, passing traps on and schematics and shit, but there was always a copycat coming. Goddamn Jigsaw got more imitators than Elvis and Michael Jackson combined. But it was always some dude, and it was the reason why the concept is crazy, because now, have you seen all these Saw movies?
No.
Okay, so what happens is, every movie is some dude that finds some abandoned property where the electricity is still working. It's still a plug in the wall to put the shit into. Or he can find a public space.
Maybe he hooks up generators.
Generators, and them generators ain't gonna last as long as he needs to work all these goddamn traps. We're talking about an amusement park of death. And he buys, he does all these traps, and he builds all these giant ass elaborate mouse traps, and then kidnaps people, brings them in with some engineering skills he pulled out his ass. And by the way, does all this shit in his spare time, because keep in mind, they still have other jobs that they show them doing.
Yeah.
So, and they do all this by themselves. So this concept of, ever since Jigsaw dying and they had these copycats, it's just a hard thing for me to get over because the copycat concept shows that they are really just stretching this out longer than the ideas and the concepts that they had before.
Sure.
So looking at this one, where this one is bringing in Chris Rock, who feels somewhat inspired. This one where they're trying to make a statement about police brutality, where they are getting political. Doing that, it does bring this a little bit higher. However, no matter how political or socially conscious you are, if you're still doing that old concept that's not working, which is bringing in copycats and repeating that over and over and over again, the staleness and the silliness of all that is going to overshadow whatever good intentions that you have. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. Because I think on one hand, I wanted to commend it for, hey, it has a point. It's a political point. It's making a statement about something. I mean, it's not something a lot of horror movies do. And if they want to reboot the franchise or give it some gravitas, okay, this is a way to go. And make it more of an actual crime thriller. That's a nice pivot and something that gives everything more weight. Unfortunately, they made it a super generic crime thriller.
Yeah.
That's just so riddled with cliches and so many of them that I didn't even mention. The acting and the dialogue is subpar. The traps are cool, I guess, for that kind of thing. I mean, to be so gory, they make their point. But there's so many things in it along the way where I didn't call them out just now, but like during it, I was like, wait a minute. Well, and then this, and then this. I will say, did not guess the identity of the killer.
Yeah.
And when they start to reveal their plan, a lot of those things I thought of as holes were plugged up. I was like, oh, well, okay. But the more they talked about what they did, the more I was like, well, this busts open a whole bunch of new questions on, well, then how did this, and what are you doing? And there's no way this could have happened.
I don't know how fans will react to this. I don't think that they'll worry about the social aspect of this because that's one of the things that people are saying. Oh shit, it's all gone woke too. Shit, everybody trying to get up here and have an opinion about social issues now. Can we just get back into entertainment? Thing is, this is not the first time that Saw has been socially conscious. I think it was 4. 4 is where they came in, they kidnapped a bunch of insurance people.
Okay.
And were making a point about healthcare at that time.
In essence, it breaks down to monthly payments multiplied by lifespan.
But you're not taking into consideration the most important human element of all.
Which is what?
The will to live.
So that was, people tell me I saw 6 right there. So, that was one where they made a statement about things that were going on, another social problem. So it's not the first time. I think that one of the things that might get fans out there who love the Saw series, and you love it for the traps. You love it because you just want to see how many different ways they can creatively tear somebody apart. This is more of a police procedural. This is something where they're not doing as many traps. There's actually long gaps in between those moments where they actually put somebody in something and start tearing out limbs and whatnot.
Sure does.
So if you come in here looking for like a complete gore fest horror movie, it's more of a police thriller. Think more like 7, except with not even 7. Think more like 4. I think that it's just even fans who are getting tired of seeing the same old thing. This could possibly be that same old thing that people are talking about. But I'll give my wrap up for this in a little bit. I want to hear what your rating is and your wrap up on this is.
Oh, well, I mean, I feel like I gave my wrap up already. But as you point out, there's long gaps between traps. And while the traps, if you like the traps, those are the highlights. Everything in between is not very good. I mean, it gets a little bit better when Samuel Jackson comes in, but then he only just shows how much worse everybody else was. I did like the ending, not the very ending because it's just setting up for more, but the climax. I did find myself liking that better than the rest of it. I'm not one of the fans, so I can't speak for that, but I'd still say it's a rental.
I think when you talk about the fans with this, they have some of the people that they brought back, and they kind of know what they're doing, so you can feel that, because they're smart. They're bringing back people who are familiar with this and know what the fans really responded to, along with Chris Rock, who has this inspired new concept for it. You know, they brought back the director here, Darren Lynn Bousman, who did 2, 3, and 4, I believe. And correct me if I'm wrong, people. I think the writers, because they brought back, I didn't put the writers up here. They have the writers here, and the writers, I think they just wrote Jigsaw, but they brought back some people in here who are very familiar with this, so they know what they're doing. But as far as the movie goes, Saw is in his own trap right now, where they can't figure out how to get out of it, man. But with new talent and and actually having something to say, it had enjoyable moments in there, man. I definitely wouldn't rush out to see this at the theater, but if I was watching this at home, which I did, and I enjoyed parts of it. I will tell you this: I think that the movie gets better as it goes along, because there was a moment where I didn't recognize Chris Rock's acting anymore. I think that as things get more intense, as the pace picks up, as you get better actors coming in and bringing all the better, raising everybody else's acting ability up. I think that things got better as it went along. So while it started out really rough, started out very rocky, started out painful in some parts, I'd rather a movie just start that way and get slightly better as it goes along instead of the opposite way.
Sure.
Yeah, and like I said, Chris Rock, I agree with you, man. That fool was struggling with that acting.
Yeah, he's just acting so hard.
But later on in the movie, I didn't recognize his acting anymore. I thought that as things got more intense, so did he, man. And I don't know, a lot of it was like he wasn't doing the same kind of dialogue. He didn't have the same amount of dialogue. And the dialogue that he had, he could do it without saying fuck. He could actually show emotion behind it. I felt his intensity. As I said, the reveal in this is still kind of crazy to me, but I enjoyed it enough to give it a high rental.
I feel like he was just intense the whole time, but then later as the movie went on, toward the end, it got intense, so it kind of raised up to match him.
Yeah. Shit, even that caterpillar was like, shut the fuck up. Trying to sleep. Shit. Yeah, I think Chris Rock is getting better as an actor. I think, he got into it later, so he still needs experience. He hasn't been doing a lot of dramatic roles.
He needs somebody like Steven Soderbergh to work with him.
Yeah.
That guy knows how to turn non-actors into actors.
Yeah. Shit, just go back to telling jokes,
Or there's always that.
Yeah. But no, I'm behind him. I'm behind him, man. I want to see this guy. I want to see him succeed, man. I want to see him actually, great to see him try to expand his abilities. So if he can actually get beyond that, then great.